race car spelled backwards is still race car. Welcome to the Race Car Spelled Backwards podcast. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Brad, and with me, as always, is Jamie, and we're coming to you from the Darn Barn studio, hot off a Darlington race weekend. Jamie, what's going on, man?
Man, I'm impressed. You moved our studio from the east side of the barn to the west side.
Yeah, we've had a big move. We've actually moved our studio
20 feet?
20, 25 feet maybe.
Yeah.
But it's official now. We're not actually sitting at the workbench. We're now sitting at our own bench with race car stuff on it. So I feel like we've moved up in the world.
I even drove my race car for the recording.
I mean, we officially have a recording area now. Does that make us official?
I think what you applied for and got for us makes us official.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and talk about that, because it's about all I can think about at the moment.
I'm still shaking in disbelief, man.
So we applied for media passes through NASCAR. We have not heard back, but we also applied for media passes through SMI, Speedway Motorsports, and we actually got approved. So we officially have our press passes for the Coke 600 coming up at the end of this month. So if you plan on being there, let us know. We will officially be there as press members of the Race Car Spelled Backwards podcast.
I think we'll be wearing a shirt. The front says Race Car Spelled Backwards, and the back will have our website on it.
Or just put podcast. Race Car Spelled Backwards, and spin around real fast. Podcast. Check us out. Here we
like
are.
Wonder Woman, twirling around, getting out of her dress into her leotards.
Hey, I mean, I think it's awesome. This is episode 14, by the way. I think.
I don't think we can ask for autographs if we're members of the press.
Probably not. But we can ask for interviews and play the interviews on our podcast, which is way better than an autograph.
And we'll have cheese-eye grins on our faces when we play them back.
What's a cheese-eye?
I didn't want to say shit-eating grin. I'm not sure. Isn't it a cat? I've heard old people say
Cheshire.
That's it.
Cheshire.
I've heard old people say that.
Cheshire grin. That's
people in their 80s.
That's from like Alice in Wonderland, right?
I don't know.
On that Cheshire cat.
Did he have a shit-eating grin?
Must have.
Okay, so we'll go with that.
That's where the saying comes from.
We're mature again this week.
Yeah, we have officially said shit within the first 3 minutes of the episode, so we've pulled a Dell Jr. All right, well, Darlington, good race. You got John Hunter, drove the heck out of the truck. The truck race was actually a really good race. I enjoyed it.
I thought all three were excellent.
I did too. I mean, Justin Allgaier won the Xfinity race. Noah Gragson won stage 1 and 2. Dale Jr. and JR Motorsports has officially won the last 3 Xfinity races in a row, which I'm pretty sure
Didn't they finish 1, 2, 3, 4 in Dover?
No, I think it was like 1, 2, 4, 5.
Oh, well, his team is,
you know, that Ty kid.
Dominating.
That Ty kid gets up there and ruins everything.
Yeah.
Which it was good to see him not win.
Yeah, because I don't like him.
And then I know your favorite driver, Joey Logano. He won the Cup race from the pole. Which John Hunter won the the truck race from the pole. So you had 2 pole winners win the race. Joey Logano.
And Joey was driving a Toyota, wasn't he?
Now that we're part of the media.
I'm just messing around.
Now that we're part of the media, are we supposed to like pick favorites? I mean,
Does that go against our media standards? Do we have to swear allegiance to the rules of journalism? I took journalism for like a semester in college.
So that means I can't call Joey Logano a douche canoe?
I think you can. All I remember is the inverted pyramid. You give the most information up top, and then you go to details in the bottom. So douche canoe can go up top, right?
Facts go in the smallest category, right?
Well,
you never let the facts get in the way of a good story, right?
A good byline or title, yeah. Like
So-
the title would be for this,
Douche canoe.
Logano bumps and grinds to first place.
Yeah, I just got Logano's a douche canoe. I picked douche canoe because that's a gender neutral term.
I was asked what was my pronoun. I don't even know what pronouns are.
Yeah, I know. I sucked at math and English. I sucked so bad at math, I never learned them pronouns. Well, Joey Logano wins the race. So, like you said, Darlington was a good race. You thought it was. I enjoyed Darlington. I saw there was a lot of single file racing. I think, as we've said on this show, at least every 14 episodes, Fox's coverage absolutely sucks. I cannot wait to be at the Coke 600 and actually be able to see the race that's going on the track and not have to depend on Fox to show me what the hell they want me to see.
Do you think Clint had diarrhea of the mouth? I mean, he was just squirting all over the place.
Clint was
He
like
called-
a
what did we-
5-year-old on a sugar high the day after Halloween.
Would we just... Oh, he called
Bill
Elliott Guy. Hey, Guy.
He called Bobby Labonte Barry. Hey, Barry. I mean, Bobby. Like, Barry. Is that mixing Terry and
Didn't
Bobby?
they have some overlap in their careers, Terry and Bobby, with Clint? I think they did.
I'm sure they raced together. I mean, Clint's so old he had a throwback car out there this weekend, so he's officially in the same club as Bobby and Terry.
I think he's my age, old man.
Clint?
Yeah.
No, he's younger than you. I think
That bastard.
Clint's my age, probably.
Nah, you don't retire in your 30s. That's your prime.
Well, heck, back in the day, they started at 30. Now they start at 13, so 30's not a problem.
Well, I mean, you got the Bushes starting their children at what, 6 months?
Yeah, before birth.
Yeah.
I heard the new Bush daughter, she's already running laps at Hickory, and she hasn't even been born yet.
Do you think her mom has a remote control?
Probably. Playing NASCAR Heat
Yeah.
2022.
With her daughter in the car.
Do you hear this, honey? This is going to be you one day. Nah. Yeah, I mean, Fox's coverage is just god-awful, man. Like, I really wish that we had an overhead shot that played the overhead shot the whole race long. Like, put it in the corner, give it to me on the Fox app, give it to me on the NASCAR app. I want to be able to see the racing going on the track and not have to depend on Fox deciding what's good racing and showing me that.
I think I would pay $5 a race to watch it with fewer commercials.
The commercials don't even bother me. It's the coverage that you see doesn't show the racing on the track. I mean, when they get single file in the top 10 and they're still racing door to door, 11th to 36th, show me that. Show me something exciting. Don't show me 5 cars running side by side doing nothing.
Why don't they show the interviews post race when they're on
Because
FS1?
soccer was coming on.
It's FS1. No one cares.
Apparently, there's some guys wanting to watch some soccer.
Charge them for it.
Well, I mean,
That's boring, just like F1.
like you told me, they put their interviews on post race on YouTube.
Yeah, but I gotta wait till later in the evening to watch them. And telling the wife, "Ooh, I gotta watch this for my podcast on Mother's Day," that doesn't go over too well.
No. Yeah, that's true. We got all the Mother's Day stuff out of the way early. Oh, by the way, happy delayed Mother's Day to any mother that's listening to our podcast.
Unless you live across the international date line, it's 2 days late. But happy Mother's Day. My wife is probably one of the best mothers around. And Mom, you gave birth to me. Thanks.
Amen. So, after watching this race yesterday, one thing I will say about these new cars in Darlington, it does still put on a good show, but it looks like coming off the turns onto the straightaway is a tricky situation for them.
Especially side by side.
Well, the very beginning of the race, you had Brad Keselowski coming off turn 2, spins out. You had Kyle Larson do it, coming off turn 4, he spun out. You had Ross Chastain coming off turn 4, spin out. It's just like they're pushing so hard in these cars, the air does something completely different than it did in the old cars. So now you get the new cars, and it's just causing these guys to spin out. It's honestly, to me, it's a breath of fresh air. I like seeing who we would consider the best drivers in the series spin out.
Well, we saw Ross Chastain. He wasn't even touched and lost it.
Exactly.
It looks like that side-to-side arrow is an issue.
I guess Cody Ware didn't get next to anybody at all yesterday because that's one name they didn't mention at all on the broadcast.
What did he finish? 19th?
Yeah. And we'll give a shout out.
Wow, congratulations, Cody Ware.
He started 31st and he finished 19th.
I appreciate his driving yesterday.
Yeah, the Nurtec ODT Ford.
Oh, thanks, Cody.
Yeah, and the 51 Cody Ware. I'm
impressed.
I mean, I'm not a fan.
He was running.
Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
Well, he's got 2.
Yeah. I mean, as far as we know.
Yeah,
we're making a lot of assumptions here.
We're not going to ask him that when we're
maybe at the
interviewing.
Cody, how many nuts you got?
I bet you he'll talk to us.
Oh, I bet he will. We're going to get to talk to Cody, Corey, BJ.
I'm going to make a prediction, though. I'm going to say if we talk to them and they talk to us, we're going to like them.
Oh, there's no doubt. So maybe we should not talk to Cody?
We could still make fun of them, liking them.
We make fun of everybody, even people we like. I don't know. I think you're right. I think that's the guys that are going to be like, yeah, we'll talk to these race car spelled backwards podcasters. Kyle Larson, those guys are going to be like, yeah.
Who are they?
Now, Brad Keselowski, as much as he's wrecked and as bad as he's run all season, we could probably squeeze him in.
Well, it's a benefit to him because he needs a little help. I mean, really, if you think about it.
How about Larson spinning out? That was kind of unexpected for me. I think Larson has.
Well, you said it.
He's unperformed. Yes, he has a victory, but he checked that off early. I just don't think that this car is.
I have a feeling he's driving a lot like Keselowski. Desperation. And when you're desperate, you don't get stuff done. You screw up.
I think he just got into the habit of winning last season. But you know what? His winning streak last year didn't start till the summer months. So when it got hot is when he really turned it on. And then that's the thing with Larson is when he turns it on, he can't turn it off.
Blaney disappointed, finishing at 17th. What in the world?
Well, Brad Keselowski spun out twice yesterday. So the first time he did it on his own. Second time around, him and KFB got together, essentially ruining both of their days.
And then Michael McDowell in the top 10.
Yeah,
that's your every squirrel has 2 nuts.
No,
that's not the saying. Every squirrel finds a nut.
I don't think every squirrel has 2 nuts.
Not the females. I don't know. I don't know much about squirrels.
You have to ask the squirrel what their pronoun is first before you know if they have nuts or not.
Oh, is that why they ask about your pronoun?
For the squirrels?
To find out if you got nuts or not?
So what? We should just all be almond joys or mountains.
Pretty much.
Does it make you wear a blue shirt and a red shirt? Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't.
So do we need a new letter for the... And I'm not going any further. I want every listener we have.
Oh, no doubt.
I appreciate all of you.
So are we at the point now where we can stop guessing if Trackhouse and Ross Chastain are the real deal? I mean, week in and week out, these guys are running
Sanchez, top 10. And, Chastain was really kicking some ass until he wiped out.
I think Chastain was going to win the race. I think Chastain probably had, I don't know if I would say the fastest car, but I think he had one of the best handling cars over a long run. So I think the only person who was going to give Joey a run for their money at the end of that race, or William Byron, because Byron obviously had a fast car.
Joey had a good car, his peanut shell.
Yeah, but I think Ross Chastain could have beat Joey.
Yeah, I think so too. He was dominating until he wrecked.
Now, Ross, it wasn't I don't know. It wasn't Denny's fault. I don't blame Denny for Ross getting loose.
Well, we go back to that side-by-side aero thing.
It's that air. It's the air push they get when they get next to another car.
Do you think it's that diffuser underneath?
Well, all the air now goes under the car.
Yeah, to the car behind them.
Exactly. So instead of it going over the car, creating that bubble effect, and then going down the car, that's where side drafting used to come in handy at. I don't know that side drafting plays as big of a role anymore as it used to.
You ever screw around with a semi-truck on the interstate to do that drafting? You can get right up near its bumper, take your foot off the gas, and he'll pull you.
Oh, yeah. It freaks my wife out. That's the only way that's how.
Do you look at her and smile and go, NASCAR, baby?
Tell her I'm saving fuel. She usually hits me or has something smart to say back. I noticed when I drive, she closes her eyes. So, but I do that. I'll get behind people on the highway and I pull right up to their bumper, especially at $4.89 a gallon. I mean,
when your truck, I just saw $5.59 for diesel.
Yeah, I have to really draft in that thing. No. Truex gets loose, checks up, and takes out all the Toyotas in the field. Well, not all, but most all the Toyotas in the field, including and not limited to the 2311 cars. What do you think?
Oh, Bubba was pissed. I mean, and
dude,
does he have like the worst luck this year?
Even he said it. So Bubba got out of the thing. He's like, I don't know what I've done to piss off the racing gods, but they sure do hate me this season.
And he's shown some promise this year. He really has.
And Kurt, it's legitimately.
Kurt had a replay of Dover.
Which has been a replay of.
You see him roll his eyes again?
Every other week.
He just looks up and like.
Then
he pulls down the net. Like, oh, jeez. Really?
Kurt's got to be at the point where he's like, I'd just like to finish a race. I mean, I don't know. I think Kurt, Bubba, like I said, all the Toyotas pretty much had problems yesterday. But I think Kurt and Bubba both, especially Bubba, it's just bad luck. I mean, we joked around last week calling him mid-pack Bubba, and yet again he's finishing.
Well, the wreck he finished, what, 20th, 26th?
He's
27th.
27th. Is that rear pack at that point? Or is he still mid-pack?
No. Well, I don't know.
He's like at the end of the mid.
What would you call mid? 12 to 24?
Yeah, so I mean, I think.
There's 36 cars. Yeah, 12 to 24 would be mid.
Yeah.
So he fell out.
So he's not even mid-pack now. He's just backpack.
He traded with Cody.
Oh, my God.
He did. He traded with Cody.
Bubba friggin' Wallace is now the new Cody Ware. Is that what you're saying? Or at least
It appears to be that way.
Yesterday. I think they'll turn it around. I mean, look, all the Toyota drivers from Denny to Kyle to Kurt to Bubba, Truex. I mean, you've seen it with all of them. They've all had issues. And it's really it's a bad luck, wrong place, wrong time, bad luck issue, but they're not running up front to avoid those issues.
I'm going to throw out my weekly conspiracy theory.
NASCAR hates Toyota, so
Teresa Earnhardt.
Do you think it's her somehow?
Is a witch. And she pulled out her wand. I mean, rumor has it, and Bob Pockris tweeted out, it wasn't Teresa Earnhardt that changed the paint schemes on the Trackhouse cars, but a lot of people were saying it was her.
Maybe Bob's just like covering for her.
Yeah, and all she does is count the money. She pulled out that wand and shot it at the TV, and she hit Bubba, Kurt, and Martin Truex Jr. by accident because she's out of control.
Yeah, that's a stretch, man.
In my opinion.
In your opinion. There's no factual evidence to this whatsoever.
Yes, this is my conspiracy theory.
Just spitballing, throwing things out.
Yeah, it's my opinion. Don't sue me, Teresa. Your husband is still my favorite driver ever.
Yeah, we've got.
And I bought a new flag. I got a Dale Earnhardt flag because my old one broke. So just recently you received royalties from me.
Yeah, she made
Thank you.
37 cents off that flag.
Well, thank you for allowing me to purchase that flag, Teresa.
With the original number 3.
Uh-huh.
Not a modified number 3 to make it sellable.
Not with a little slash through it like Zorro went crazy with a sword.
Zorro.
I don't remember. That's before my time. Isn't that what the guy with the sword was? Zorro? Zero? Zero.
Well,
Zero the Hero? Is that where that came from? Or was that a Black Sabbath song?
is that a Black Sabbath song?
I don't know.
Not
Not a big fan.
I like some Sabbath.
I like Sabbath, but I just...
War Pigs was my favorite.
That's a great song.
Paranoid.
Paranoid's a great song.
All right, well, talking about
Back to NASCAR.
Talking about Paranoid. Last restart, William Byron allegedly pushed Joey into the wall. Now, I've watched the in-car footage.
Did you see the video?
And I've seen the video. It looks like Byron squeezed Joey up the track. Joey, if he got in the wall, it was so light it didn't matter because he didn't.
He still won the race.
Well, he didn't lose ground either. I mean, he really stayed right. He got right behind Byron.
He got a little rub.
I think what William Byron did to Joey is a racing move. 100%.
Yep.
Now, Joey drives into turn 3, coming to the white flag, a good 10, 15 miles an hour faster than William Byron, and runs directly straight into the rear.
Oh, that was totally on purpose.
It looked like drafting down the back straightaway at Talladega, except they did it in the turn at Darlington, sending William Byron into the wall. Ultimately, he finished in 13th place.
Well, I'm going to...
This is where I put douche canoe in parentheses for Joey.
I think it was wrong. And, here we go. Sorry. I think what he did was wrong. He had the speed. He was going to pass him. There's no need to wreck him. Zero need to wreck him.
I would like to have seen him try to pass him going into turn 3 and 4, run side by side coming off of 4, and flipping door slam him if you need to going into turn 1 and 2.
I think he had the speed. I don't think he had to.
I don't think he would have had to door slam him either. I think he would have drove right by him.
I think he's a butthole, and he wanted to make sure he finished way back, not second, just because he's a butthole.
He's a douche, man. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Like, we are not fans of Joey Logano on this show, so we'll just throw that out there in case you were wondering. But he's a douche. And
well, here's my theory. I think...
No, it's ridiculous.
After Chastain was knocked out, I think that was the second best car.
I think Joey had a better car than Chastain.
But for whatever reason, Joey didn't want him to have an opportunity.
Joey didn't
to
want
pass
to run.
him again.
He didn't want to run out of talent on the last lap.
Well, you run out of talent when you have to bump like that.
No, yeah, you're right. That's a
he didn't trust his racing skills.
That's what I'm getting at. Like, he didn't have enough faith in his ability on going into that last lap to race him clean, straight up. And he keeps saying, like, oh, he got into me with 26 laps to go. And, right then and there, it was a no-brainer for me, guys. I was just going to wreck the hell out of him.
Don't forget that.
Idiot, man. And William Byron gets out of the car, calls him an idiot, calls him a moron. Spot on.
But, I liked what Gordon did. He went to calm down his driver. I hadn't seen that before. Of course, he could do it every week and we don't see it. But I like what Gordon did.
That's the maddest I've ever seen William Byron. And that's saying a lot because I don't really think William Byron gets mad very easily. But he was pissed off.
That was not tit for tat.
No, it's no way, shape, form, or fashion, is it? I mean, it was just every sense of dirty. It hit every mark for dirty driving. I'm not a fan of it. I don't
just
like it.
Just like what he did to Truex in Martinsville.
Well, they asked Jeff Gluck was talking about it on the Teardown podcast. He was saying that at some point NASCAR might have to step in. I disagree with that. I don't want to see NASCAR step in and say, all right, gloves are back on, guys. No more boys.
You got to
have at
handle it on the track, and I hope Bowman does.
Well, not even just race. You know, it would have been different if they would have been Ricky Craven, Kurt Busch in it for the last 4 laps, you know? Bouncing off the wall, banging off each other, that's one thing. But to run into somebody and put them in the wall and not give them a chance to race you back, that's all we've come down to. So now you no longer want to be the leader going into the last lap unless you have a 1 second plus lead. Because I think anything less than a second, maybe a half a second lead, but you could conceivably run into turn 3 15 miles an hour faster than the leader, go in at the bottom and hit him before he comes off of turn 4, wrecking him. And if you don't wreck, you'll win the race. And if you do wreck, the guy in 3rd place is the winner. So,
which Tyler Reddick needs to win.
At this point, you don't want to be in 1st. Yeah. Heck, you might not want to be in 2nd.
If Tyler Reddick could just get up there and bump him.
It looked like, when we watched the replay before we started recording this, it looked like after Byron hit the wall, he turned left hard and just missed. I think it would have been better if he would have left hooked Joey and just sent him right into the wall.
I thought it would have been great if...
I really wanted to see him hit him after the checkered flag. Just go down and ruin his celebration. Just run right into him.
Hamlin did.
Yeah, just
nose
park in front of him.
Yeah.
Just sit there. Sit there giving him the Darryl middle finger the whole time. Just, hey, Kyle. Give him the old Kyle Busch hello.
Yep.
The whole time he's burning out, just hang the finger right out to him. So I guess we're spot on for William Byron calling him an idiot.
Yep. And I don't think William Byron's going to give him any.
Did you see so Kurt Busch comes down pit road before his incident, obviously. He's getting his tires changed. One of his crew members jumped on the hood of the car to stop Kurt from leaving so they could get the lug nut tight so they wouldn't lose a wheel and lose a crew chief, a tire changer, and a jackman for 4 weeks.
I must have gone into the kitchen during that.
That's straight up dedication.
That is.
It's dangerous. Is it considered removing parts from pit road? You know, you can't remove tools from pit road. If you drive out with a pit crew member on your hood, is that removing stuff from pit road?
Did he modify the body when he jumped up there?
So now,
is that a suspension?
not only have they removed stuff from pit road, you've modified the body. And I don't think it's modifying the body.
Keselowski got in trouble for that.
But they can stand on the roof at the end of the race, so jumping on the hood to stop him from leaving is not going to modify the body.
Yeah, they could claim that was a safety issue. Tire going loose.
I know the 11 car appealed their 4-week suspension, which I really think they only appealed it so he would have a crew chief. Gaypart would be there this weekend because Denny is supposed to run really good at Darlington.
Well, it didn't look like he did eggs very well.
No. Well, this is a NASCAR track, so we know he had toilet paper.
Yes.
It wasn't anything to do with
Oh, but hold it. Who owns Charlotte?
SMI. But they gave us press passes, so we got to quit dogging them.
Yeah, we'll just be quiet and bring our own toilet paper to Charlotte.
Yeah, it's a bring your own toilet paper type of track.
BYOT.
BYOT.
Buy what?
Bring your own bucket and toilet paper.
So I like Marcus now.
I always liked Marcus Smith. I just liked giving him hell. We probably still will. We're not going to change.
Yes, they are going to bring back North Wilkesboro, though.
Justin Haley, 3rd place finish. I saw Chris Rice posted a lot on Twitter. That's cool for those guys. I mean, Colleague Racing took a car that probably wasn't really a top 10 car all day and finished.
And last year, we predicted Colleague would have the success that Trackhouse is actually having.
Yeah, Trackhouse.
We just didn't have a podcast then.
Trackhouse blows my mind, man. I got that. One of the questions from XM Radio last week was talking about Chastain. It was, is Ross Chastain currently the hottest driver in the series?
Seems to be.
Yeah, I mean, week in and week out. Now, yesterday he finished 30th, but
he was running up there.
Yeah, he was trying to. He wrecked trying to take the lead, and honestly, he owns his driving style too. He is an aggressive driver, and he owns it 100%. If you don't like it, oh well. He doesn't really care that you don't like it. He's still going to do it week in and week out.
No, he doesn't lie Joey didn't lie after the race, which is strange. Usually he'll go, I didn't say him. But he admitted.
So if you haven't voted on the Jeff Gluck poll yet, make sure you go vote on that. 'Cause we're both in agreement that it was a good race, right?
Yeah, and it's actually, we talked about it before I saw this, 87% yes, and I said I'd rate it an 8.5, 1 to 10 scale, so we're right there.
Yeah, I mean, I went through and was reading some of the comments on it. I was going to add Twitter comments, but nobody really had a whole lot to say on Twitter negative. Everybody was being pretty positive about it, so everybody's pissed at Joey. Maybe if Joey wouldn't have won the race and caused the drama at the end, people might have had more to say about it, but I also had Hall of Fame inductees last week. Did you get a chance to check that out?
I did.
So the 3 people who were voted into...
I don't know about our listeners.
3 people who were voted into this year's class for the NASCAR Hall of Fame are Matt Kenseth, Kurt Shelmerdine, and Herschel McGriff.
And Kurt deserved it.
I agree. I think Kurt, more than anybody on this list, deserved it. I mean, he's a 4-time championship crew chief with Dale Earnhardt Sr. He got his first win crew chiefing for Ricky Rudd. He definitely deserved it.
Matt deserved it too. He's got a championship, almost 40 wins, not quite, 39.
Now, I will admit, I have never heard the name Herschel McGriff.
You know what? When I look at history of some tracks, I've seen his name, but I've never gone down the rabbit hole to find out more about him.
He got his first race in the Southern 500 back in 1950. He raced in his final race in the K&M West Series in 2018 at 90 years old.
That's insane, man.
That's 90 years old.
You'd think we would have heard about him.
I'd be happy to be breathing at 90, much less running.
I hope to be dead at
running
90.
a race in a NASCAR sanctioned series, right?
I want to be passing on to the other side by the time I'm 90.
Well, you can
kill myself.
89. I got 20 minutes to go, God. Take me now. Well, Herschel McGriff also had 37 wins in the ARCA West Series, which put him, if I'm not mistaken, 3rd all-time winningest driver in the ARCA Series. So, I mean, he obviously had the stats there. He was a Pioneer nomination. So you get your... I think so after you've been on the ballot with and don't make it in for like 5 years, you become a Pioneer. And then if you don't make it in there, you become whatever's left over in 50 years after they run out of names to induct in.
Pioneer, that's kind of strange. Does that mean if you don't make it after Pioneer,
you're
buried in Nebraska because you didn't make it to Oregon?
Probably.
Okay. That works for me. That'll help me sleep tonight.
I think it's cool, though. Matt, first time on the ballot, makes it in right away.
And he deserved it.
Hey, you know what? Matt the Brat Kenseth, I like Matt Kenseth because that was the rivalry, in my opinion, when I really started watching junior race in the Busch Series, Matt was the guy. Matt and Tony. He had to beat Matt and Tony every week to win. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, if you think about it, those 3 guys coming up together is pretty cool.
Didn't Matt have a historic run-in with Joey?
Oh, Matt had the ultimate run-in with Joey. Like
that was a F you in your face.
Ran right into him. That was a...
Waited for him.
Cold Trickle, Days of Thunder. Mm-hmm. I've never been so excited in my life. That's why he made it into the Hall of Fame. That's what I heard. They weren't going to put him in the Hall of Fame because of his victories.
But when he T-boned Joey?
Yep. He made Hollywood reality.
And then Joey's still calling him a prick 10 years later.
I love it. I think it's maybe Joey should be the one to introduce him at the Hall of Fame.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Coming up next, guys, Matt Kenseth. All right. Other things we got from last week we want to touch base on. We've already talked about Ross Chastain is currently the hottest driver. That was from Dave Moody on Sirius XM last week. One thing asked on the Teardown podcast this week by Gluck and Bianchi was, is William Byron the championship favor? And Gluck says yes.
Well, I would put him and Ross Chastain as 2 of my 4.
Out of the Hendrick stable, I think currently Byron's probably the best running driver. But it's also, he's back with Rudy Frugal, however you say it, from the Truck Series, where he won all those races with Rudy at Kyle Busch, KFB Motorsports. I think that's probably a big part of why he's running like he is. I mean, Rudy's a good crew chief.
He's a good crew chief, but I sure wouldn't want to piss him off at a bar after he's had a few beers.
It looks like
he's a hoss, man.
And the fact that William Byron just signed a 3-year deal last week with HMS too, so that doesn't hurt.
No, it doesn't. And you know,
HMS is going to be hard to beat for.
Rudy kind of reminded me of our old boss, KB. Big old hoss.
Is he that tall, Rudy?
I imagine he's. We'll find out in Charlotte.
We'll have to go interview him.
We'll go talk to him.
We'll go talk to Rudy. Don't worry, people. We'll ask him how
we'll
tall he is.
find out.
Say, Rudy, how tall are you? That's all we want to know.
I mean,
what's your weight and how tall are you?
If I look him in the eyes, he's got to be about 6 feet.
Yeah. And if
you look him in the eyes, he's what, 5'7"?
5'11". Are you 6 foot?
Yeah.
I'm 5'11" and holding.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just went to the doctor last week. I got a clear bill of health.
Well, actually, I think I shrunk like half an inch last time. Like 5'11" and a half or 3/4.
You talking about your height again?
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about something else? Oh.
Don't it shrink when you get older?
Especially when I jump in cold water. Shrinkage.
So Trackhouse, we kind of discussed their schemes too. I mean, I think out of all the throwback schemes, I picked Trackhouse Racing as the best throwback schemes of the weekend.
All right, what about the Skull Bandit thing that I was really hoping to see? That was BS.
So do you understand why they took it off? So if you don't know what's going on here, Justin Marks, owner of Trackhouse Racing, bought the Harry Gant Skull Bandit car.
Mr. September.
And was going to drive the car during pre-race at Throwback Darlington weekend this weekend. And they wouldn't let him. They wouldn't let him drive it because of Skull is a tobacco product being on top of the car, and federal laws prevent tobacco branding advertising at national sporting events.
But they weren't paying for it. Is that advertising? If I see someone smoking a Winston in the stands...
That's advertising. You're not supposed to smoke in the stands.
It happens. I saw it happen at Daytona. I saw it at Atlanta.
Yeah, Daryl in front of us was smoking the whole time. Yeah, but that's different.
I got a picture of him smoking.
Daryl's not on the track smoking. So maybe if Daryl was running around the track...
With a Winston t-shirt, a throwback?
Yeah. And a Marlboro hanging out his mouth.
I'd love a Winston throwback t-shirt.
I used to have one.
I had one, but...
I had a jacket. Or maybe my granddad had a jacket. Somebody had a jacket in my family. It was like a Winston Cup jacket. My grandmother might have
bought it. You get it with
it.
points. Remember?
Marlboro. Did Winston do points too?
I've never smoked before. I don't know.
I didn't collect points. When I smoked, I was too young to smoke, so I couldn't redeem my points.
Couldn't you get your dad to redeem them? Or did he not know?
I don't think he knew I was smoking when I was 15.
My parents just assumed I was smoking, but I wasn't. I don't get it.
Were they smoking?
Pops was a smoker. He quit eventually, but
I think it's BS. Honestly, I understand their federal laws, but
you know what they could have done to get around it?
What?
Have somebody shoot it with their iPhones and they post it on YouTube. Not do it during the Fox broadcast.
Well, they could have changed up the scheme.
Called it
School Bandit.
Sprite?
The school.
Put Sprite, but leave the same.
Well, there's that other in there. Like
what else is green?
There's a SoCal sponsorship by somebody that looks like every time I see it, I think of Skull.
But Leaf Guard reminds me of Skull, but that's colic.
Yeah, they're not gonna share. I don't know, man. I don't like it. I think it would have been cool to see it. I mean, you had. I would have to go back and look, but you had Clint Boyer in the booth in the car. The throwback car with the...
You know what would have worked?
No.
Yeah, throw on Ms. Starbucks instead of Skull.
No.
You don't think so?
I mean,
John Deere?
I can see how it works, but
7 Up.
I don't see Starbucks sponsoring a NASCAR car. Period.
Animal Planet? They got green on there.
Who owns Animal Planet? Disney?
Probably a cigarette
I
company.
think it's Disney. They're not going to support NASCAR either. All right. Well, that's what we got for Darlington. Going to Kansas next. Do they actually have hotels to review in Kansas? Like, I've been through.
Dude, they're like right there next to between Kansas City and Fort Leavenworth. So
I've been through Kansas. There's not the first flipping tree in Kansas.
There are. My wife has friends from Enterprise, Kansas.
Well, they keep them in their house because
they're next to the house. There's if you see trees, there's usually a house near it.
Yeah, because there's no trees near the highway, and I needed something to block that wind that was about to flip my truck over the whole time.
You know, one of our greatest presidents was from near there.
Who?
Eisenhower.
You know, in my opinion, the last great president, I know this is going to shock everybody when I admit this.
Ronald Reagan?
No.
No?
General George Washington. We haven't had a good one since.
I don't know.
He was my favorite. He was so good he only ran once.
I like Grover Cleveland.
I like the name.
That's why I like it. I don't even know what party he was in.
Grover reminds me of the Sesame Street character, the blue guy. Uh-huh. Grover.
Teddy Roosevelt was kind of a badass.
Was he?
Hey, he went out to the west, rode ponies, shot his gun.
Oh, yeah, I remember him on that movie.
Caught some dude.
He was on the movie, what's his name? The museum movie.
Yes.
Night at the Museum.
Boy, he looked just like him.
Who played that character?
That dude that killed himself.
What's his name?
Mork.
Andrew Jackson?
Mork. His name was Mork.
Morty?
Mork.
Robin Williams.
No, we call him Mork.
Why?
Because he said, no.
Yeah, that's way, way before my time.
Yeah, I was like little.
Yeah.
I was like 8 years old when he was nanooing.
That's your generation. All right, where don't we want to stay at when we go?
Well,
we're starting with a Wyndham.
I avoided Wyndhams. There were some Wyndhams.
Awesome.
I said, you know what? We're giving Wyndham too much free advertising. Some people might not believe the reviews, as we have failed to believe some reviews ourselves. So we're going with local hotels. The first one's the KCI Lodge. Sounds fancy, doesn't it?
Not really.
But
not knowing what we're about to talk about.
Gin P, and this is very recent.
Gin P.
Gin P. PA. We'll call it PA. That sounds wrong. Gin P.
Oh, JP.
All right. JP. Paige. Gin Page. Let's just call her by her name.
Paige.
She didn't hide it when she left the review.
Yeah, Paige. We'll go with it.
We're going the whole. We're just going to read their names now. You can find them and see for yourself. But she gave it a 1 out of 5 on Google. She said, I called and told them I could book online for $57. And they said they could do $60. Not wanting to pay a middleman, I said, okay, I'll pay the $60. Thinking that was the rate I was getting, I handed over my credit card. They gave me a bill for $94. That's $30 in tax.
Where's the $4 though?
You know,
60 plus
probably
30
a
is
service fee. Oh, here we got to keep reading. She goes into it. They said they couldn't give me the 60 rate because of race weekend. Well, that's BS. I said, take it off my card. I'll go somewhere else. They argued and said they would charge $2 for a refund. $2 compared to what they were charging for a room in a hotel on a dead-end road, no problem. So it must have been sketch.
So she didn't even stay there.
I've never been charged to give me a refund. What the heck kind of place is that?
Well, I mean, how'd she know? Her math's so bad.
It
30
is.
plus 60 is 90.
And our math sucks, so
And then if you add a $2 refund, that's 92.
maybe she bought a Coca-Cola. Don't those 20 ounces cost $2 now?
Maybe it's complimentary breakfast was $4.
Well, if it was that sketch, I don't know if I'd have breakfast there. What do they think? What do you think they give you? A Linder's bagel out of the bag and a toaster?
Well, it's a lodge, so it's like a hunting lodge is what I think of.
I would actually go borrow a cigarette lighter from a crackhead in the hallway.
Well, we don't
Take that bagel and I would cook it.
I don't think she even stayed here.
No, she did.
She's rating them before she even gets there.
You know, the only reason I chose this is she said they wouldn't give me the $60 because it was a race weekend. That's the only reason I threw it in here.
Well,
she wasn't going to the race.
If your math is bad, avoid the KCI Lodge.
And it's a $2 refund if you go, boy, this place is sketch. I don't want to stay here.
And that's not really that bad, $2. I mean, that's...
There were a lot of 1 out of 5, so the hotel was...
Oh, well, it's Kansas. What do you expect?
Well, Kansas, I think of wholesome Midwesterner farmers cruising around with a raw...
Kansas is so screwed up, they don't even know what state it's in.
A raw ear of corn?
Kansas City.
No, Kansas City's in Missouri.
Well, there's a Kansas City, Kansas, too.
And that's where the racetrack's at.
There's a Kansas City, Kansas,
It's in Kansas. Kansas City, Kansas.
Is the racetrack?
Yeah.
And all the hotels are in Kansas City, Missouri?
Oh, no, these are in Kansas.
I've been by this track. We drove by it.
It's kind of a mundane track.
Yeah, Kansas is kind of a mundane state.
A tornado just dropped 1.5 miles because they're everywhere in
Tornadoes?
Kansas.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
It's flipping crazy.
pooped out 1.5.
All right. Where are we going next?
Next, we're going to Gable's Motel.
I love her last name.
Pam Poodle. Do you think that's really her name?
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
Why would you not use your real name?
Well, as she said here, it's an extended stay hotel which charges $205 per week. That's cheap, dude.
Yeah, that's really cheap. Is that a 7-day week or a 5-day week?
Oh, I don't know. Never stayed in a weekly hotel. $175 is the motel rate, and $30 is the Kansas City tax rate. Hey, that explains the $30 for Jen Page.
Yeah, so she just needs to...
She needs to figure out that...
It's her vote. Her elected officials have screwed her with their hotel taxes.
Doesn't she know there's 2 things you can't escape, death and taxes?
That's right.
What's wrong with Jen? Screw you, Jen.
Yeah, Jen, we're reviewing you now, hon.
Jen, now
It's on you.
you don't exist to us anymore.
No.
Nope, we're turning our back on you.
We're done.
You're an idiot.
Idiot. 100%. Just like William
Dang.
Byron said.
Uh-huh. What an idiot.
Moron.
Joey Logano would see your face, Jen, and go, oh, where was I with the Pam Poodle? Here we go.
Our family has stayed there.
Our family has stayed there for 3 months. Oh, my goodness.
Oh.
While we waited permanent housing.
Okay.
According to the Kansas Department of Revenue, when you stay at a motel for 28 consecutive days, the motel's not supposed to charge you tax anymore. Wow. To even know that, that's sketch. I pointed this out to management of Shatty and Sons. That right there should tell you not to stay there.
Don't take a shot here.
Isn't a shat past tense for I pooped or I shitted? Isn't that what the British say?
I just took a shot.
I shot myself.
I just took a shot.
I think I shot my underwear. Give me a Grey Poupon.
Shot myself. And LSD.
And they did LTD. That's a Ford. They must be Mahindra fans driving a Ford. And they refused to listen to me. Oh, no. Really? I could report them to the health department for the infestation of huge black widow spiders that are there. And large, vicious Rottweiler. Are they in the rooms too? Dog, they allow to roam around. It's Cujo without a leash and terrorize the guests. Now that's scary. The dog charges at guests whenever they come onto the property or try to go about their business. Reedy states the dog is a security dog and is harmless.
Who's Reedy?
I think Reedy's last name is Shatte. Shot T.
Ready, Shat?
I
Ready, Shat, go.
Not so when a dog smells fear, they will often attack. She's a veterinarian. She knows a lot about dogs.
Heck yeah.
The dog is a security dog and harmless, is what Ratty said. But she says no. They leave the animal unattended to scare the guests. Animal controls has told controls.
Animal control.
Is that kind of like our business? You use controls for your commercial air conditioning?
Maybe.
It's a remote dog?
So they have controls on the animal. It's a battery-powered dog.
It's those dogs from Up. Remember
like our
those
president.
robot dogs?
It's like our president, battery-powered.
Maybe he's a robot dog.
Well, the animal controls, huh?
Controls, not control.
So what, did she call it animal control? Oh, no, that's it.
She knows everything, this lady. Pam Poodle knows it all.
Well, she was there for 3... Her name's Pam Poodle, and she don't like dogs.
Not Shaddy.
How does that make sense?
Or is it Grady? Reddy. Maybe that's the dog.
Grady's the guy from Sanford and Son.
I never watched that show.
Dude, you didn't watch Sanford and Son growing up?
Dude, that's before my time. You watched it on reruns. There's no way you saw it.
I didn't watch it live, but yeah, on reruns. You didn't watch reruns of Sanford and Son?
They must not have had them where I grew up. In Washington, D.C., we had Channel 20 for reruns and Channel 5.
We watched Andy Griffith. We watched Sanford and Son. I love Sanford and Son.
And on a cloudy day, we could get Channel 45.
Big dummy.
from Balmer.
You big dummy.
Put it on Balmer. But, you know, maybe Balmer had it on Channel 45, but they just didn't run it when it was a cloudy day. You could watch the Orioles at night on Channel 45, which was nice.
Dude, this motel that we're talking about doesn't accept credit cards?
That's sketch. Yeah.
Go ahead. I'll let you go ahead and finish it.
Well, controls, of course, told them to keep the dog tied up. Isn't that illegal too, though? That's not nice. Up away from the guests, but they ignore the warnings. This motel does not accept credit cards, cash only. They do not have phones in the rooms either. Do not go to this place ever. Well, you know, my guess is that Reddy Shatty is not paying taxes.
Yeah, but he's still charging them taxes. Because as she pointed out, in Kentucky law, after staying in a place...
Kansas. We canceled all the Kentucky races.
That's right.
Because all the hotels are rated 1 star out of 5.
Dude, I hate that we're not racing in Kansas because I would love to do
Kentucky reviews?
Dang, I'm all over the place.
They'd be talking like Gomer Pyle. Hey, Andy. I've seen some Andy.
They ain't have no phones in the room.
Who was the operator? Was it Martha?
Andy, they were letting Reddy take a shat in the hallway, and the dog smells it often, so they tied the dog up. Maybe they should have tied the guest up. Maybe they did tie.
Maybe they did.
Pam Poodle's pissed because she didn't get tied up.
Next we have, also not a Wyndham, the American Motel.
Dude, that sounds so Matt DiBenedetto.
Yeah.
If I was going to say Matt DiBenedetto ever owned a motel, it would be
the
American Motel.
Yeah.
He's the first American NASCAR driver. You know that, right? Mm-hmm. First American conservative Christian white NASCAR driver.
I don't think that's true. I think he's a liar.
Well, he said it, so it must be true. It's on Wikipedia.
Bubba is a Christian.
Well, it doesn't. All the other drivers that say they're Christians don't count, according to DiBenedetto.
Oh, he's got one of them weird home churches?
Yeah.
Where you got to be his religion or no religion?
Or you're wrong.
That's too bad.
Get it right.
Maybe he needs to study a little more about Jesus.
All right.
Next to American Hotel, and this is Macy Renee.
She got 2 first names.
She does.
I believe Renee Macy better than I do Macy Renee.
I think it's made
It's like John Smith.
She did rate it a 1 out of 5. She says, we booked, which means it's more than just Macy, through a third-party site. When we got to the motel, they said they canceled the room at 6:30 because it wasn't prepaid, which is nowhere on the site I saw. The lady at the desk was nice, but acted like she was doing me a favor by honoring the reservation anyway. Then they said the room was non-smoking. We walked in and it smelled like we walked into an ashtray. Everything smelled like cigarettes. The lady at the front desk insisted it was a non-smoking room. But there's no way that's been a non-smoking room in a long time. The smell was embedded. The lady did move our rooms to an actual non-smoking room. The walls are thin. You can hear the highway noise and everything happening in every surrounding room next to you. Then when we checked out, there was a cockroach at the front desk to send us off. Was it actually waving to her? Hello, bye-bye, lady.
But she don't understand how good she has it in Kansas. The cockroaches are at the front desk in Kansas. Last week,
Working there.
Homeboy collected 60
Yeah,
cockroaches
and the
last
manager
week.
just gave him a spray can.
Yeah, he's like, oh,
Kill them yourself.
you've got 60. You're going to need a can of cockroach spray.
And, I mean, the cockroach, it looks like, is an employee.
Yeah, that's discrimination.
It's like the goodbye guy.
That's discrimination against cockroaches.
Goodbye, Missy, goodbye.
Yeah, poor cockroach.
Well, that's too close to Mickey Mouse. Think we'll get sued by Disney?
Nah.
It's a cockroach, Disney.
Yeah.
It's a cockroach.
Disney ain't paying no attention to
We're
you.
calling the cockroach Macy Renee.
Or
Goodbye, Disney,
Renee.
goodbye.
Renee. Or maybe it's Macy and Renee since it was we.
Oh, yeah, it was we.
So Macy and Renee. Maybe they're just friends.
So, if you notice, the first 5 sentences are exactly what we said in our reservation of the Beach Butt Inn in Daytona. Because they told me, oh, we don't have your reservation. And she acted like she was doing me a favor.
She wasn't doing us no favor.
Yeah, it was. And then like 10 minutes later, she told me no refunds. Because we would have found a room.
I would like to hear more about the noises you're hearing from other rooms.
All she did was say you can hear the highway.
Well, then she said, and everything happening in every surrounding room. So, like, if I go pee, you can hear me peeing.
Well, this is the negative about Macy.
She ain't giving me enough details.
Yeah.
I want details.
Was there screaming next door? Was there murder going on? Yeah. Were there people having relations next door?
Sherman had relations.
Because I knew you were going to act like she should have gave us more. So if the next review is the exact same hotel. And
yeah, but what's
Arrow Vogel says 1 out of 5.
You think that's his God-given name?
No.
But
this
Mr.
answers the question you had. I anticipated this. And Arrow Vogel says 30% of all STDs in Wyandotte County can be traced back to the Gables, or at least the people had stayed there.
That says Wayne Dottie.
No, it's Wayan. W-Y-A-N-D-O-T-T-E.
No, it's W-Y, Way, and Ati. Wayati.
Where'd they get that name for? Well, that's bullshit.
Chinese.
Oh, okay.
Wayati.
And then, just in case you weren't clear,
I love this guy's name.
Rona Baker says,
that's
never
definitely
go. Bad. He's like, I'm not even wasting words on this crappy place. 1 out of 5, never go. Bad.
So technically, after Arrow, Mr. Vogel, and Mr. Rona Baker, after reading their reviews, Macy should go back, adjust her review, and say, thank you for not letting me catch an STD.
Well, we don't know why Macy's there. She might have caught one.
That's true.
Maybe the thin walls bothered her because what she was participating in the room.
She was trying to get an STD.
Mm-hmm.
But if the rooms are as nasty as Macy makes out to be, then you might be able to get an STD from using the toilet.
Maybe Mr. Cockroach was involved, and that's why he was waiting to say goodbye at the front desk.
Maybe it's not a cockroach. Maybe it's a crab.
Isn't a crab just a human body cockroach?
Yeah, I guess.
Or a flea?
I don't know. I've never had it.
I don't know. Google it, guys. Google answers everything. And then we have a famous person who stayed at a bad hotel.
Yep. That's awesome. I've been waiting on this one.
Jessica Simpson stayed at the Gables Motel.
Can you name one song Jessica Simpson sang?
No, I didn't know she was a singer.
Oh.
I thought she married that guy from the boy band.
I was really hoping you could name a song because I can't.
Didn't she marry a guy from a boy band? At first, and they had an MTV show when I was still watching MTV about 20 years ago. Him and his wife.
Yeah, I'm not. I think
it was after The Real World. You were probably 10 then.
I like The Real World.
It started the whole craze.
I agree. What did Jessica Simpson have to say?
Jessica Simpson, I thought she had more money than this to even stay at the Gables Motel, but my friend got 2 nights at this hotel for $140.
That's a heck of a deal.
We were busy that night, so she checked in and went to go do our stuff. Oh, what is our stuff? We came back, checked out the room, and there were roaches in the room.
About time.
When we spoke to the guy at the counter, we politely spoke about the problems of the room, and he just stared at us. Obviously didn't understand very much English. So we finally said we wanted a refund, and he said, "No refund!" I honestly think that's the only thing he knew in English. And then I just got a call from my friend saying they got bit in the middle of the night. So there was probably bed bugs as well. Do not book at this hotel. You will get your money taken and get bed bug bites. Instead, plus you might bring some friends home.
What if you don't have any friends?
Jessica Simpson might not have any friends. Well, she's got one who stayed at the Bed Bug Gables
Jessica
Motel.
Simpson's, if I remember, she was kind of hot, right?
I can't even remember what she looked like.
I think she was like blonde hair.
I'm a Googler.
I think she was a blonde-headed girl.
Let's see. I should have Googled her when I read she did a review.
Yeah, well, she stayed at the Gables Motel.
Is she from Kansas?
I don't know, but so maybe maybe it was her looks that had this guy at the counter speechless. Maybe he was just.
Oh yeah, she's attractive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe he saw her and he's like, oh, Jessica Simpson, and he got all tongue tied, you know, like.
I'm not into blondes, but she's attractive.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe he got like a celebrity. What's it called? Like fanboy out. Starstruck.
Yeah, well,
maybe
fanboy works too.
Maybe he was starstruck.
And forgot English?
I mean,
it's Jessica Simpson. Maybe he watched her show.
Well, my wife walks up to me.
Does she stun people too?
She's so beautiful, I forget English. And I just duh.
So do you blurt out to her, "No refund"?
I'm going to try that next time she's talking to me. Just going to stare at her and go, no refunds.
You'll get no refunds. Like Soup Nazi.
No soup for you.
No soup for you. No refunds.
I have seen that episode of Seinfeld.
You didn't watch them all?
I wasn't a huge fan of it. I think I was too young.
Yeah, kind of a Generation X thing, isn't it?
I should probably go back and watch them now. I'd probably enjoy it more.
The Boomers had MASH, which I can't watch.
Yeah, I never got into MASH.
I don't get it.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of drunk comedians who are supposed to be
chopping
doctors.
up people in Korean War.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with it. If my doctor was a drunk comedian, I would not want him cutting on me.
Now, I read this review of it, and they said it was a commentary on the Vietnam War, but they used the Korean War so that they could be on television.
So they didn't offend the Vietnam people?
Everything offends everybody.
Yeah, maybe MASH should take sensitivity training with Denny.
That could be.
All right, we're going to Kansas.
I found a new website for info. No more Wikipedia.
Does it at least tell you how long the track is?
Somewhere maybe. You have that.
Yeah.
It
1.5
tells
mile
you.
tri-oval.
And look, it is the same county as the Gables, where you get 30% of your STDs.
Wyandotte County.
Wyandotte. So
does that mean 30% of the people at the Kansas race have STDs?
I think you got to stay at the Gables to get it. That's the only way you get it in Kansas.
So 30% of the people who live in
Wyandotte County? It's probably a brothel.
There you go. I think you're onto something now.
Isn't that Kansas was the Wild West back in the Wild West days, wasn't it?
That might be the only brothel left.
Could be. So Kansas Speedway was established by International Speedway Corporation, our new favorite owner of tracks, because we're part of the press.
SMI is our favorite.
Oh, ISC was owned by NASCAR, wasn't it? It merged in.
Yeah.
Well, NASCAR, if you want us to really think you're the best owners of racetracks, you might want to approve our press pass.
Yeah.
Because we're getting more listeners every week.
Marcus Smith hooked us up.
Yep. Thank you, Marcus.
Love you.
So they did it to provide a new venue for oval racing in the Midwest, which with Chicago closed, it's the only one, isn't it?
There's plenty of land in Kansas, so they could have made a 37-mile track and been okay with it.
Now part of the NASCAR family. I should have read the next sentence. Damn it. Of circuits, Kansas hosts 2 annual NASCAR weekends, which feature all 3 main divisions of stock car competition. In addition, the Oval hosts a round of ARCA Menard Series with the 150-mile race, rounding out the series schedule since 2012. The Tri-Oval Speedway features progressive banking in the turns and boasts seating for 72,000 spectators.
See, that's changed, though, because now it'll only hold 48,000. Or maybe that seating capacity is 48,000.
Well, there are also 60 luxury.
Yeah, we must not. That,
Sweet.
so my seating capacity I got off of J-Ski.
Pika.
I got off J-Ski.
Oh.
Was 48,000. Progressive banking was installed in 2012.
Which didn't help it much. It is better in Texas.
The only thing that got progressively anything at Texas was it got progressively
Maybe this
worse.
car will fix it. It fixed a lot.
Yeah, well, it didn't fix Martinsville, so I got no hope for Texas.
Well, short tracks kind of suck with this car.
Yeah.
From 2001 to 2010, the circuit also hosted the Indy Racing League IndyCar Series, while the addition of the road course in 2012 briefly tempted the Grand Am Championship to host 2 events in 2013 and 14. Now, it has a short history, but here's a circuit history, and this is from racingcircuits.info, just to give credit where credit is due, and I like this website. In 1997, in what's the county, Brad? Because I can't pronounce it. Wendate County and Kansas City, Kansas were selected as the site for the new speedway, located at the intersection of Interstate 70 and 435. Construction began in May of 1999 on the 1.5-mile Tri-Oval. Architecture firm HNTB, which also designed Chicagoland Speedway. Hey, guess what Kansas is going to do? Disappear.
Yep.
Provided civil engineering and site development, landscape design, and design of the actual racetrack. Design firm DLR Group was responsible for the design and engineering of all buildings on site, including the grandstand design. Turner Construction, didn't they used to own a team?
They used to own a broadcasting network.
No, wasn't there a Turner Motor Race?
Yeah, but wasn't that the same as Turner Broadcasting?
I thought, I don't, all right, I'm confused now. We'll Google that for the second race.
Turner Construction. I don't know.
They were selected to provide construction management. What a cush job.
Just watch.
Yep. In the summer of 2012, the Speedway announced track improvements included a complete repaving of the existing track surface, reconfiguration of the oval, and the addition of a 2.37-mile road course.
So this is when they went to the progressive banking in the turns, because it's 17. Oh, I see it on here now. Yeah.
17 and 20 degrees.
Yep.
With the front strip banked at 9 and 11 degrees. That's a big difference. And the back straight, a uniform 5 degrees. Portions of the infill were graded and paved as part of the road course development. The repaving, in particular, drew praise from the NASCAR drivers when they attended a, well, that's British, isn't it?
Trial.
Tirade?
A tirade.
A tirade test in August of that year. Safer barriers extended around 1.28 miles of existing concrete retainer walls between turns 1 and 2, between 3 and 4, and along most of the front stretch. Also new in 2012 was the Hollywood Casino, which overlooks the track at turn 2, boasting 2,000 slot machines and 52 gaming tables. So if you guys are addicted to gaming, call 1-800-I-lose-my-money.
Slots.
They'll help
They
you.
have slot machines.
That's kind of like slut machines, isn't it?
You ever seen Beavis and Butthead Do America?
Ha ha.
Where he's on the airplane?
Who said slot?
She said slots, dude.
That's kind of like Joey's laugh, isn't
I
it?
am Cornholio. Take me to your leader. I love that movie. I'm still, so they spelled tire test Tyre.
To be honest, I Googled it. That's how they spell it in Europe.
Okay, well, this ain't Europe.
I know.
But I was even pronouncing it, so that's
But
Tyree.
we want.
So Ty Gibbs is spelled T-Y. So if it
Let's
was
call him Tyree.
But if it was Ty, T-Y-E-R,
Man.
well, maybe Tyre. Tyre.
Have you ever heard the saying, C's get degrees?
No.
Oh, well, I'll introduce it to you.
I made C's.
And you got a degree.
And I got a degree.
And I got C's and I got a degree, which means...
So we can spell tire however the hell we want, by God.
Yeah. They just gave us a piece of paper and we said thank you very much.
Hey, I think I paid for mine.
Oh, yeah. We all paid for it.
I had to pay for
Some of us...
Look, I was so bad in high school. Like, my junior year of high school, I had to buy a book because my car got stolen and my science book was in it. That was like a $400 book. So going into senior year, I made the smartest move of my life.
Quit?
I put all my school books in my locker,
Oh, that's a good idea.
and then I never touched them again the whole year. And then at the end of the year, I had to go to the front office to find out where my locker was so I could find out where my books were.
Oh, I spent my senior year in the front office waiting for the vice principal of discipline.
Yeah, the vice principal told me that if she ever saw me again, it was going to be a problem, so I just quit going. I didn't want to cause any problems. I just wanted to graduate. All right, here we go. Kansas Fantasy. Let's help you get your fantasy picks. Kevin Harvick's got 32 races here, 3 wins, average finish 8.9. Kevin's also got 19 top 10s. Denny Hamlin has 27 races here, 3 wins, 10 top 10s. Joey Logano, your favorite, has 25 races and 3 wins,
Asshole.
10 top 10s. Martin Truex has 27 races with 2 wins and 14 top 10s. Kyle Busch has 28 races here, 2 wins and 13 top 10s. Chase Elliott has 12 races here and 8 top 10s and 1 win, which I think is pretty dang impressive to have 8 top 10s out of 12 races. Kyle Larson has 14 races, 1 win, and 6 top 10s here. My picks. I am going to go with Ross Chastain, because I think he's got something to prove now that he wrecked last weekend. William Byron, same reason. Daniel Suarez, because eventually he's going to win. And then I'm going to go with Martin Truex, because there was a point in time when Martin Truex dominated mile-and-a-half tracks, and he's had speed. He's shown glimpses of it all season. And really, Daniel Suarez and Martin Truex are my dark horses, to be honest with you. I think Martin Truex has a shot to finally put together 400 or 500 miles. I'm not 100% sure how long their Kansas race is, but I think he has the potential to put the whole thing together and win it.
It's 400, isn't it?
No idea.
I wish they'd just do 300.
We'll look it up. Who's your
Kansas? My picks. I am going my number one.
It is a 400-mile race, too.
Going with Kevin Harvick.
All right.
Based on the stats. And wasn't Darlington his best finish this year?
Probably. I would have to say so. So you think the momentum's going to carry Harvick?
Well, my number 2's Martin Truex. He's been doing pretty good. Not that great. He keeps wrecking. And I'm going to go with Cody Ware. He's turned it around, man. Wasn't he 19th?
Okay, yes.
Or should I just say he's going to finish the race? It's about the same, isn't it?
He's got a 50-50 shot of finishing.
All right, I'm going one dark horse. I'm going to call Cody Ware finishing the race. That's what I'm going with.
All right.
And then my last pick will be Brad Keselowski.
That's about like picking Cody Ware.
Well, I think they've done one of those brain switches.
I think it should be a good weekend. Honestly, I'm actually looking forward to Kansas because I think the mile-and-a-half tracks we've already raced at this season, like Atlanta,
Vegas was good.
They've been really good races. Vegas it's hard to compare Kansas to Atlanta. Nothing's going to ever compare to Atlanta.
But it's very similar to Kansas.
What, Atlanta?
Vegas.
Vegas, yes. That's what
Yeah.
I mean. So I think that Vegas was a great race. I really think Kansas, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm curious.
Honestly, I've not been overly impressed by the short tracks with this new car.
But everything else has been good.
Yeah.
The dirt race at Bristow was entertaining.
Oh, no doubt. The dirt race is great.
Martinsville and Richmond, though, poo-poo.
Well, guys, we greatly appreciate y'all listening to the show.
Without you, we probably wouldn't get a press pass.
No doubt. Without all of our listeners, we would definitely not be official members of the press for the Charlotte Coke 600.
We'll
Can't
try
wait.
not to embarrass you.
I mean, we had zero plans this morning of going to the Charlotte race until we got approved for press passes. And
We just said, hey, we're going to just keep applying as they turn us down until they finally let us in.
and we got in. So
And we were giddy like little children.
still are.
Going to Baskin Robbins in
So
first grade.
I guess whenever Jamie's wife, Jody, listens to this podcast, Jody I'd really like Jamie to go with me. So if he can go, I would greatly appreciate it.
Denise.
She already said yes.
Oh, wow.
You got to get on the ball, man. Denise has said I could go.
I have a way for Jody to let me go.
Give her the Porsche.
We're taking the Prius.
We're driving the Prius.
I'll just say, here's the keys. Please don't wreck it and park far away from everyone.
Yep. Don't let the caps get stolen, Jim.
There's no dings on it. I got scratches, but there's no dings. Look at it.
Well, we're excited, guys. Just thanks to everyone who listens to our show, everyone who follows us on social media. We greatly appreciate every one of y'all.
None of this could be done without you.
That's right. So make sure you check us out on Spotify, rate us there, follow us on Twitter. It's @CarBackwards. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review, and check out our website. It's racecarbackwards.com. Other than that, I think that's all I've got for the week.
Well, Brad, I mean, let's just be up front with our listeners. We talked about this for what, 3 years, 2018, 2019?
Oh, yeah, it took us
We
3
were
years
chicken.
to actually sit down and do it.
Yeah, we were afraid. We were like, oh my God.
And really, if it wasn't for Door Bumper Clear, Dirty Mo Media, and Anchor.
I listened to Pitch and Pennies.
Anchor is really what
Yeah,
made it
they
so
sponsored Door Bumper Clear, and Anchor has been an amazing partner.
easy. Yeah, it really does make podcasting that easy. I mean, I had tried it before on my own, and I could not get it to post. I couldn't figure out how to get it to post, and Anchor handles all that. All the back end crap that I was trying to figure out, Anchor handles for me. So if you're looking to make a podcast about NASCAR or anything,
Yeah, if you got something to say it.
Anchor, use Anchor. I mean, I know we have ads throughout the show for Anchor, but this is not even a paid ad here. It's just
And
being
then
real-
Twitter
being
pay
for real.
Brad and tell him, give him a tweet a pay to link.
Yeah, well, you can do it. All
We'll
right, guys.
listen.
Yeah, if you make a podcast, send us a link. We'll definitely check it out. Thanks for listening, guys. We appreciate it. Have a great week, everybody.
We'll see ya.
Thanks for listening to Race Car Spelled Backwards.